For decades, walking has been the go-to advice for staying active after 70. But here's what no one tells you. Walking alone often isn't enough. Many older adults still feel stiff, tired, or unsteady, even after walking every day. That's because walking doesn't fully activate the muscles responsible for balance, posture, and fall prevention. Now, a new movement approach is catching attention. Even doctors are noticing. It's just 6 simple exercises tailored specifically for aging bodies. And unlike long walks, they target the exact weak spots that cause joint pain and instability. If you're over 70 and tired of doing more but getting less, these moves might be your breakthrough. Tap like, hit subscribe, and stay with us. This next few minutes could completely reshape how you think about movement after 70. Exercise 1. The box step lift. This first move might look simple, but it's one of the most powerful for rebuilding the leg strength that slowly slips away after 70. It's called the box step lift, and it mimics something many older adults struggle with daily: going up steps, climbing curbs, or getting into a car. But unlike stairs, this movement is safer, more controlled, and designed specifically for aging joints. Here's how to do it. Find a low, sturdy surface, not too high. It could be a thick book, a low aerobic step, or even the bottom rung of a staircase. Make sure it's stable and won't slide. Stand behind it with your feet shoulder-width apart. Your posture should be tall but relaxed. Step your right foot up onto the surface, plant it flat, and make sure your weight is evenly distributed. Now, instead of stepping fully up, shift your weight forward just enough to lift your left foot off the ground. Just 2 to 3 inches. You're not climbing, you're hovering. Hold that position for a count of 3. Feel your thigh and hip muscles engage to stabilize you. Then slowly lower your left foot back down, followed by your right. Switch legs and repeat. Try 6 slow reps per side, or more if you feel steady. Why does this work? Because it targets the exact muscles walking misses. The step lift forces your body to stabilize one leg while lifting the other, a motion that improves strength, coordination, and balance at the same time. Now let me introduce someone who didn't think her legs would ever feel strong again. Marvis, age 76, used to dread the 3 porch steps leading up to her front door. She'd grip the railing with both hands, hold her breath, and hope her knees didn't buckle halfway up. It made her feel old, and worse, unsafe. Her daughter set her up with a low footstool in the living room and showed her how to do this exact move, just 5 minutes a day. No weights, no gym. Within a week, Marvis wasn't just stronger, she was more confident. One morning, she walked up her porch steps without grabbing the rail at all. She smiled and said, "I didn't even think about it." That's the quiet power of movements like this, reclaiming everyday freedom without risking injury. You don't need a complicated workout. You need small, specific challenges that restore what aging tries to take away. Try the box step lift today and take your first step, literally, toward better strength and balance. Exercise 2. Seated heel glide pull. This next movement is quiet, gentle, and surprisingly powerful, especially for older adults who feel stiffness behind the knees or discomfort when getting up from chair. It's called the seated heel glide pull, and it's one of the easiest ways to reawaken your hamstrings, the muscles at the back of your thighs that help with standing, walking, and stabilizing your knees. Here's how to do it. Start by sitting upright in a sturdy chair with your back tall and feet flat on the floor. Don't slouch or lean back. Your spine should feel long and relaxed. Take a small towel or cloth and place it under one foot. This will help the foot glide smoothly across the floor without friction. Now, keeping your heel pressed down lightly, slide your foot backward under the chair, as far as it comfortably goes. Don't force it. The motion should feel controlled and fluid, not jerky. Hold the back position for 2 to 3 seconds, then slowly slide the foot forward again to the starting point. That's 1 rep. Aim for 10 slow, steady repetitions per leg. Then switch feet and repeat on the other side. This movement may not look intense, but it does something essential. It gently activates and stretches the back of your leg, while simultaneously reminding your body how to coordinate movement in the knees and hips. Many older adults unknowingly lose this movement over time. They stop fully using the muscles behind their legs and instead rely on their quads and knees to do the heavy lifting, which can lead to joint pain, instability, and falls. That's exactly what happened to Everett, an 80-year-old former postman who prided himself on staying active. But after retirement, his knees began to stiffen. Standing up from his recliner felt like a chore. He noticed a constant pulling sensation just behind his knees, especially in the mornings. When he was introduced to the seated glide, he was skeptical. "It looks like nothing," he said. But after a few days, that tightness eased. And by the end of the week, he was standing up smoother, with no groaning, no pushing off the armrests. He called it the smallest exercise with the biggest relief. That's the beauty of the seated heel glide pull. It doesn't demand energy, it gives it back to you. It invites the leg to move again, gently and intelligently. Try it today, even while watching TV or reading. Your legs will thank you, and your knees might just feel years younger. Exercise 3. Standing knee unlockers. Some exercises don't just strengthen your muscles. They teach your body how to move smarter. That's exactly what the standing knee unlocker does. It's simple, silent, and overlooked, but for adults over 70, this tiny adjustment can restore a huge sense of control and safety. Why is this important? Because one of the most common mistakes seniors make without realizing it is locking their knees when they're standing still. It feels natural, but over time, that locked position puts strain on your joints, stiffens the legs, and reduces your ability to react quickly if you trip or lose balance. Here's how to retrain that habit. Start by standing tall with your feet shoulder-width apart. Let your arms rest by your sides, or place your hands gently on your hips. Now, gently bend both knees about 1 inch, just enough to feel them soften. You don't need to squat or lean. It's a subtle shift, like releasing tension. Then straighten the knees again, but stop before they fully lock out. That's the key. You want to feel upright and strong, but not rigid. Repeat this gentle bend and release motion 10 to 12 times, moving slowly. Stay aware of your posture and your breath. This isn't about pushing, this is about control. If you do it correctly, you may start noticing a light engagement in your thighs, calves, and core, even though you're barely moving. That's because this move brings awareness back to the small, stabilizing muscles that protect your knees and support your balance. Mava, age 72, used to spend long afternoons in her kitchen prepping meals for her grandkids. She noticed that after standing for more than 10 minutes, her knees would ache, and occasionally she'd feel dizzy or unsteady when turning quickly. What she didn't realize was that she was constantly locking her knees while standing. Her body was rigid, not relaxed. Once she began doing this tiny knee unlocking motion, just a few reps in the morning and again while waiting for the kettle, everything changed. She said, "It felt like I turned my legs back on. My body felt more alert, like it was actually helping me stay upright." Sometimes it's not about doing more movement. It's about doing movement with intention. The standing knee unlocker teaches your legs how to hold you up with strength instead of stiffness. Try this today, even while brushing your teeth or waiting in line. Your knees will feel lighter, your stance more grounded, and you'll begin to trust your body again in small but powerful ways. Exercise 4. Wall heel raises with pause. For seniors over 70, one of the first signs of weakening movement isn't in the knees or hips, it's in the ankles. If your steps have started to feel shorter, slower, or a little slappy, the problem might not be your legs, it could be your push-off power. That's where the wall heel raise with pause comes in. This small move restores something critical that walking alone doesn't train: the ability to lift and control your heels with strength and balance. Here's how to do it. Stand facing a wall, about 6 inches away. Place both hands lightly on the wall for balance, not for support. Your feet should be flat on the ground, about hip-width apart. Now, Slowly raise both heels off the floor, rising up onto the balls of your feet. Go up as high as you comfortably can, but avoid rocking or rushing. When you reach the top, hold that lifted position for a full 4 seconds. Feel your calves engage, your ankles stabilize, and your toes grip gently. Then lower both heels back to the ground slowly with full control. Don't drop down quickly. This part is just as important as the lift. Repeat 8 to 10 reps. Breathe steadily and stay upright throughout the movement. This move may look simple, but it retrains your lower body to generate the upward force needed for everyday motions, like getting up from a chair, climbing a step, or walking with energy instead of a shuffle. It also improves ankle stability, which is vital for preventing slips, especially on uneven ground. And by adding that pause at the top, you're not just building muscle, you're teaching your body how to hold itself confidently during transitions. Take Delton, age 78. He used to trail behind his wife on their short morning walks. She glanced back and noticed his heels barely lifting, his steps dragging. He wasn't in pain, he just felt sluggish. And worse, he had no idea how to fix it. Then he started doing wall heel raises right after brushing his teeth each morning. No gym, no equipment, just the wall beside the sink. 2 weeks in, his wife said something surprising. "You're keeping up with me again." And she was right. His steps had bounced again. His posture was taller. And most importantly, he felt sure-footed for the first time in years. It's not always about working harder. Sometimes it's about reactivating the small systems that support every step. Try adding this to your morning or evening routine. The results may not feel dramatic at first, but your walk, your confidence, and even your shoes will tell a different story soon. Exercise 5. Elbow circles with rib lift. Most seniors focus on strengthening their legs and hips, but what about the upper body? After 70, many people begin to round forward without realizing it. Shoulders tighten, the chest collapses, breathing feels shallower, and everyday tasks, like reaching a cabinet or putting on a shirt, start to feel stiff or awkward. That's why this next move, the elbow circles with rib lift, is so essential. It's not about getting stronger. It's about creating freedom in the parts of the body that have quietly stiffened over the years. Here's how to do it. You can start either sitting upright in a sturdy chair or standing with your feet shoulder-width apart. The key is to lengthen your spine. Don't slump or lean. Imagine a gentle lift through the top of your head. Now, place your fingertips lightly on your shoulders, elbows pointing out to the sides. Begin by slowly rolling your elbows forward in wide, controlled circles. Lead the motion from the shoulders, not the hands. Keep your chest lifted and feel your shoulder blades glide across your back. Do 5 big circles forward, moving slowly enough that you can feel your upper back and rib cage expanding. Next, reverse the motion. Roll your elbows backward in 5 smooth circles. Focus on opening the front of your chest as you move, allowing your rib cage to gently lift with each breath. That's it. Just 10 slow, conscious circles, but the results can be immediate. You're not just loosening the shoulders, you're resetting your posture, reactivating forgotten muscles in your upper back, and helping your lungs expand more fully. That's why this movement also improves breathing and energy levels, even if you're sitting still. This was exactly the case for Yelene, a 74-year-old piano teacher who had stopped playing full songs because she felt compressed. She didn't know how to describe it, only that her chest felt tight and her arms didn't flow like they used to. After trying this simple movement for a few days, she said something quietly powerful. "I felt like my body opened up, my back actually unclenched, and I could breathe all the way down again." That sense of unclenching is what so many older adults miss without realizing it. We live decades carrying stress in our shoulders, hunched over sinks, desks, or phones, and never realize how much it closes off our strength and breath. But just 60 seconds of mindful movement like this can restore what stiffness has slowly taken. Try it now. 10 slow circles. Shoulders relaxed, ribs lifted, breath flowing. You may feel taller. You may feel lighter, and you'll definitely feel more alive in your upper body than you have a long time. Exercise 6. Toe scrunch and spread barefoot. When it comes to staying balanced and steady after 70, most people think of knees, hips, and maybe even posture. But one area that often gets overlooked is the feet, specifically the tiny muscles inside your toes. And those small muscles are doing more to protect your balance than you might think. That's why the toe scrunch and spread is one of the most underrated but powerful exercises you can do barefoot at home. Here's how to do it. Start by sitting comfortably in a sturdy chair with your bare feet flat on the floor. Make sure the surface beneath you isn't slippery. You want to feel safe and grounded. Relax your ankles and legs. Now focus on just your toes. First, scrunch your toes down toward the floor like you're trying to pick up a towel or grip the surface gently. You'll feel the underside of your foot engage. Hold this contraction for about 3 seconds. Then, slowly spread your toes as wide as you can, stretching them out like a starfish. Try to create space between each toe. It might feel odd at first. That's normal. Repeat this scrunch and spread sequence 8 to 12 times. Move slowly and with intention. You're not rushing, you're reconnecting. Why does this matter? Because as we age, the muscles in our feet often go dormant from decades of being crammed into shoes. They weaken, they stiffen, and as a result, our body loses one of its most important stabilizers, toe control. When your toes can't grip or adjust properly, it's harder to recover from misstep. That's why so many falls start at the feet, not the hips or knees. Now meet Lowell, age 79. He had quietly stopped going barefoot around his home. The tile floors felt weird, he said, like his feet didn't trust themselves anymore. His steps were shorter, more cautious. He never fell, but he felt like he was always one misstep away. His doctor suggested doing this toe exercise daily, nothing extreme. Just 5 minutes before bed, seated in a chair, bare feet on the carpet. The first few nights, it felt awkward. But by the end of the first week, Lowell noticed he could spread his toes wider than before. And more importantly, he felt anchored when standing at the kitchen sink. No more shaky footing. No more discomfort walking barefoot from the bed to the bathroom. He now calls it his foot wake up. It's become part of his nightly wind down, and he says he feels safer on his feet than he has in years. This simple movement sends a signal to your body. You're connected, you're stable, and you're supported from the ground up. Try this tonight. No equipment, no pressure, just your own toes doing what they were designed to do. You might be amazed how such a small act can make your entire body feel more secure. The truth is, walking has its place. It keeps you moving, gets you outside, and supports your heart health. But after 70, walking alone isn't always enough. It doesn't challenge your balance. It doesn't strengthen your ankles, feet, or posture. And it certainly doesn't wake up the small, stabilizing muscles that protect you from falls and fatigue. That's why so many seniors walk every day and still feel weak, stiff, or off balance. But today, you've discovered something different. These 6 gentle, specific exercises are designed to do what walking can't. They retrain your body to move with confidence. They restore the strength in places you didn't even realize had gone quiet. And best of all, they can be done right at home with no equipment in just a few minutes a day. You don't need longer walks. You need smarter movements. Movements that target the root causes of instability. Movements that quietly rebuild coordination and control. Movements that reconnect you to your body without pushing it past its limits. Whether it's a gentle toe spread or a slow step up, each drill is a small investment in your independence. You're not just exercising, you're protecting your future. So now it's your turn. Which one will you try first? Was it the toe scrunch? The wall heel raise? The seated glide? Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your favorite. And if this video gave you a new way to think about movement, help someone else discover it too. Hit the like button, share it with a friend or family member, and don't forget to subscribe for more honest, empowering ways to stay strong, steady, and independent after 60. Because aging well doesn't happen by accident. It happens one smarter step at a time.